Good morning. Welcome to Inside the Melt Up Operation. All right, so let's start with this. All right, I'm a couple minutes late, but it's not going to matter. They're pushing up 460, give or take, is a spot they're either going to spike through and pull back from or come up short. How much short? I can't tell you, but it's an opportunity for those that want it. Right? If you're not interested in fighting the tape and trying to pick a number to short the tape for a scalp with the risk of the other side, which is continued melt up, get a little pie in the face. If you're not in for that, then don't do it. Okay, it's just that simple. It's not a trade for everybody. You don't have to take it. Wait for something else. That's the only thing on the board right now. There's no long trade, no, unless they pull back, and we'll talk about it if they do. They're headed somewhere. All right, we'll talk more about this throughout the morning. They're headed somewhere. They're days away, okay? If not today, tomorrow, Monday, whatever. They're days away from getting to this spot. This is the type of activity you see. It's going to bring the bulls back in, or whatever's left of the bulls, any non-bulls, any what's left of the bears, bring them right back in. Last guy in, last guy out. We'll see what happens. That's just kind of my thought process for now. All right. I've seen this activity before. You've seen this activity before. Use the Fed as an excuse to just give it a final melt up. They're not going to keep going indefinitely, make new highs next week. It's not going to happen like that. That's not the way the market works. But this is one hell of a run. And they're in that zone, keep in mind. What? 458 to 462. Where are they? Just short of 460. I mean, this was the place I've been talking about, right? We know what it's from. Just go back to the videos if you don't realize it. Here we go. And they're off. They just let them do whatever they're going to do. If they want to push up, you want to take an opportunity, that's fine. If you want to just wait for something to develop, that's fine too. And it's fine for different people, each one. CMG, I didn't see that, sorry. Let's see what we're talking about here. Oh, that's all the way down here. Yeah, we take a look at it. I think it's down there.
eBay hit its first level. Southwest Airlines LUV hit its first level. And Bristol Myers is about to hit its first level.
That was old.
Along with Edwards Life Sciences. Bristol Myers did hit its first level.
All right, let me look around. Be right back. Southwest, 39, Bristol Myers. Wait till you see this one. I did, Marcus. There's nothing there till the gap. You're right, but that's not that. It's not anywhere near it. If it does, let me know and I'll bring it back up. Nice bounce in Bristol Myers. The low was 38, 60.38 against 60.39. Well, we'll give that one a funny how that works. And the spiders are pushing up. Okay. So anywhere near 460, in front of it, above it, you're likely to get a pullback. Again, it's not for everybody, but it's an opportunity on the board. Let's see what else we got. 8560. W 8560 IWM, that was the price, the high. Sorry, I didn't bring it up fast enough. 197.90 against 197.90. We'll give that one a funny how that works too. 83.96 EW, let me finish that one. 83.96. All right. Spiders high 44. There's no telling, right, what come up short will be. Yeah, but they were up so much yesterday, and I agree with you, Matt. It's interesting that they are down transports, but they were up so much yesterday that was a little blown out of proportion, I think. So we'll see. But yeah, they're down. It's good, something to watch. Nice bounce. They're trying. Crocs. That one pops up every now and again. These lows down here. Let me see if I can find something. Hold on. Hey, run some numbers. No, I don't like it. No. They'd have to make a new low. You can write this one down. For me, it would have to be 98.30 down there. Okay. Crocs. What's going on in Q land? 384.75 is the next place. Will they get there? I don't know. But if they do, it should be overhead resistance. Screaming Qs. Remember this daily chart? What we said last night? Get above this and it breaks the chain of what was developing. They've broken the chain, their energy gets released in the upward direction. Okay, so that's what's happening. Qs. EW, 86.25 so far. Love is a tweener. I missed the second number, or I missed the low, either way. Oh, Shannon took in front of the second number. Base hit with a trailer. Nice job, Shannon. Took 33. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Sometimes they come up short, sometimes they spike them through, sometimes they hit them on the button. You never know. That's fair. Pennies, right? We're talking pennies. You make a decision on pennies. Jeff also took love. Nice job. So, we're talking about pennies. If you're looking for 10 cents on a trade, 2 cents, 3 cents matters. If you're looking for 50 cents, 2 or 3 cents doesn't matter to me. To others, it does. I get that. Subjective. I forgot about this one. eBay. Okay, there you go. eBay and BMY. Great job, Dirk. BMY. Look at that rip. Nice job. You never know which ones. You just don't. You can't pretend to know. It's not fair to anybody. You just can't. What I have is the numbers. I have a process, all that stuff, but you never know which ones are going to give you the rocket ride. Just don't. Nice job, Trevor. eBay options. Well done. Hey, don't get emotionally attached to a company, Corey. Just forget about it. Who cares what they do? The market is ridiculous, meaning stuff can always go in places that you never imagined. We can bring up chart after chart after chart and say, we can even go back to, I don't know how long you've been here, Corey, but we talked about, I held traders away from shorting Tesla for forever. You don't short the fan favorite. There's just things you just don't do. And if something's getting out of control, there's no reason to pick a high. Just let it go. I'll tell you when it's finished. Qs. Yep. And bring up a different chart here. Not that it matters. What difference does it make? It's 460, give or take, or bust. That's really it. Other than that, they're just hanging around. That's why you got to focus on the stocks on the move today. In a melt-up operation, look for opportunity elsewhere. Look to the left, look to the right. No, the market doesn't trade on fundamentals. It has nothing to do with anything. I've been saying that for years. Fundamentals are after the fact. It's ridiculous. It's made up stuff. Made up formulas, made up stuff, made up price to earnings, averages, and all that stuff. It's all BS. Affirm. Nice job, Shannon. Took a base hit on you. Affirm. AFRM. Affirm. Let's see. Well, that's just, what are you looking at? 1958. Let me see. Let me, give me a moment with this one. I think I did this the other day. Hold on a second. Let me see what I have. There's your target on Affirm. If they spike the high, that's where they're likely headed, and that's likely overhead resistance, and you can say 1987 to a spike of 20 bucks. That's Affirm. That's what I have. Okay. If they pull back from the high, well, they can, but that's my number. You're welcome. Nice job, Jorge. I just didn't have that. I mean, suppose maybe I need more time with that one. Let's see. Scott, EW, well done. Nice job, Scott. Just got to get used to doing it. Yeah, the options are tough, Corey. They're not for everybody. I mean, you see, I have no idea what you've been doing, but just follow along. I'm going to step away for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's see what we have here. I'm just reading some stuff. Was that with futures, Michael? Okay. Well, nice job on the long. The short's a tough one, but it's pretty big long. Nice job. Yeah, I mean the short is tough. I just can't tell you from where they're going to ultimately pull back and have a real pullback from, rather than just a few points. Could it be 462 or 3? Yeah, I mean it could be, and it could be within the next couple of days. It's just going to run away. I can't say. What I think and what happens is two different things. I don't think they will, but that doesn't mean anything. All right, let me read on here. We'll come back to that if need be. Yeah, Smash Mouth is having a 3% plus day. Nice job, Phil. Yep. And well, the Qs are absolutely. Chad SQQQ, that's got to be short, right? So you're short the Qs from 384.75. High 384.71. So from up there, you okay? Yeah, well, Michael, by the way, to the second part of holding some stuff overnight, that's again to the individual trader you massage to what you're comfortable doing. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. Certainly in an uptrend, you get gap higher. It happens all the time. So it's not like a bad idea. You just have to manage it. And if you want to manage it overnight, that's up to you. That's not something I want to do. I did it in the past. I don't want to do it anymore. Nova? Nova's getting close to what? Okay. Sorry. You're right. 1802. I had to scroll my screen. I forgot about it. Thank you. Okay. See what happens with Nova. I'll read some other stuff. I'm sorry. I'm a little behind in the comments here, so forgive me for that. I'm reading them now. Some more. Whether it's 1802 or not, there's a big area for Nova. Big area. When I say that, what I mean by that is it's a big area, meaning it's support. It can take a while. It's support. It's support, right? But is it 1802? Is it 1768? Is it 1770? This area, this zone, it's a big zone. Corey, you want to look at FI, Fiserv? I'm not sure about the rest of that post, but a little confusing for me. I'm a little slow sometimes. What do you have in Fiserv? You have get above this high and it opens the door to the gap. That's really all you have. It's in an uptrend. That's nothing more, nothing less. Just a pullback in an uptrend. Above this high opens the door to the gap. So call it somewhere between 129.50 and 130. There's no target down unless they're falling. Meaning today, like right now, well, you're likely to get support around 125, a spike of 125, but they kind of already did it and they came up short. So for me, at this point, it would almost have to be a new low. Let me see if I come up with something different. Hold on. What do you mean December? What's the target down between now and December? It's going up. Okay, well, okay. So you have the puts. I'm telling you it's in an uptrend. I understand you have the puts. There was no target down because it's not going down. All right, so the spiders are coming down here. Test low of day. Listen, spike the low of day, rip it back up. I can't tell you. There's a lot of space in here. Anything goes, all right? So this is the first number I have of importance that gapped above it. If they come to it, for me, it's logically going to be some support. In between the low of today and here, for me, there's nothing doing. It's just a common test the low, and if it holds, they just continue to eat time off the clock or go back in the other direction, but that's a coin toss. Do you ever take a base hit on entry number 1 and then entry number 2 if it hits? Sure. You meaning take what Microsoft yesterday was a good example of that, Scott. It hit entry 1, it gave the base hit. It hit entry 2, it gave the base hit. So there's 2 trades. So yeah, sure, happens. I don't know how much, but it happens for sure. What's the support number in the spider? Okay, I think I just answered that one. I think I'm caught up. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry. Re-put it in. Let's see what else we have. Let's go back to just check on some of these. I know we had some buyers at the second number. Not sure we had any at the first. It opened right there. VIX. Well, that's not my level anymore. But thanks for bringing it up, Matt. I'm going to take a look at it in a moment. See what the next one is. I think I have it, or if I don't, I'll work on it. I might have it. I have to look. I just want to run through these real quick. eBay is coming down. So they gave the trade and now it's over, at least at that price. EW coming down to the second number. Okay, so they gave the trade at the first number. Check on IWM. Pull back. A little bit of relative weakness. Up on the day, but relative weakness of note. Yep. I want to play Apple till the earnings next Tuesday. Will it reach 205 before then? Wow. I left my crystal ball at home, but no way I could tell you that. I wish I could. That's one of those things where you have to realize eventually, asking a question like that, be careful of the answer. Not from me, I'm going to give you the answer, but be careful asking that type of question. Be careful of the answer because you might believe the answer, and the answer might be just totally made up out of whole cloth. I can't give you that answer. I wish I could. Nova. Okay. Thank you. The spiders didn't even spike the low a day anyway. Not yet. Let's see. Pretty good volume here today so far in the spiders, just on a comparative basis. Yeah, spiders just eating time off the clock. That's it. Right at the midpoint. Right? It's funny how that works too. You never know some of this stuff is going to happen before it happens. It's when they hit a number on the button and all that stuff. It's just, if it happened once in a blue moon, you don't even really pay attention to it. But the same stuff happens over and over and over again. Once you can identify what that stuff is that happens over and over and over again, you're onto something. EW, yeah, I thought it was. Let me get the other one. Yeah, the other one's down at 82.21. That's a little far, but there's stuff in between. It's like another trade. It's a big spot down there. I'm not saying they get there. I'm just saying it's a big spot. A little short so far, 84.01. Yeah, but look at the spread, right? You got a 10, 12, 13-point spread. That's sense. That's when that happens the most. Yeah, you're right. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Yeah, you're right, Joseph. Yeah, you're right on the money in that. I intimated that in the video this week. And I specifically said exactly, not what you said. I said the second part. Nova's coming down. Hold on. Nova got there in a hurry to that second place. Better put this one up just in case. There's a daily chart 100 period moving average right at 1720, just for knowledge purposes. All right. Well, I do it in real time, Ron. I don't really use a calculator anymore for that. So I would just do it from this point forward, saying, if I'm looking for a number, where's the ES, and translate it to the conversion. But the real-time conversion is point for point. It's $1, 10 points. Okay, Rajit, I hear, I got you. I read what you wrote. Okay, yeah. Just the next step after you're finished with the paper trading business, the next step is to do small position sizes, very small, to where you have stake in the game, but you're not going to be sweating bullets. Right, spiders are coming down. No change to my number. If they get there, that's fine. We'll see how they got there if they get there. It's still a lot of white space. Let's bring up a different perspective. The next place would be either yesterday's high down at 456 and change, and then the gap. So 456.74. So you could say there's a dollar zone in here that's reasonable before you get to the gap. 457.70 down to 456.70, give or take. Do it. It might have run. I'm not sure. Could be. I'm not sure. I might look closer at that later. Thanks for bringing it up. Oh, we had a taker at 1754 in Nova. Booked the scalp, did Chad. Nice job, Chad. Jeff, what we're talking about, I don't know, you might have just missed it. We just said it about a minute ago. 457.70 down to 456.70, give or take. That's a reasonable zone for a bounce back in the other direction. Look at this one, just for kicks. How about that short up there? Chad, you still have that, or you cover the whole thing? Okay. So for now, this was the come up short part for now. 459.44, right? For me, that's not close enough to come up short, to short it in front of 460. Some of you it may be, but I was thinking higher. I was thinking at least within 50 cents. Now you got close, but not there. Just what I was thinking, just doing a data dump. Very rarely does it work buying a gap higher open and just playing for the ride. They generally will shake you out. Now they may go higher later and they may get to 460 and above later, but for now, this is the initial chasers shakeout operation. Okay, Trevor, that's fine. Listen, trader's choice. Trevor's short the spider. I would suggest you have to take something off in front of 457.70. That's my take. You do whatever you like. Oh, you already took some profit. I'm sorry. Good for you. Nice job. But still another spot of support. They may slice through it, but this is the support I have, 457.70 to 456.70, give or take. There's a nickel or so on either side of that. Whatever. Upstart, you know, I have a number up here, but that's far away. Nothing. It's just bullish. It's in an uptrend. There's nothing else to say about it. It's just in an uptrend. That's the next number I have up there. That's it. Sorry. And I wish it was more. It's just not. 6250 is support for today. You're welcome. Let me see about that, Corey. Let's bring it up. ESU 2023. And well, Corey's, let me read that again. All right, I'm still watching 457.70. March of 2022, okay? So you want to just pick that high and do what with it? Let me reread it again. Draw a line at the high of March 28, 2022. So I'll go to the daily chart, I suppose. I can't do it on this. I got to get a continuous contract. I can do it on my other screen. Well, it's the same. It doesn't matter, MES or ES. Well, why don't we use a spider? It's the same. No, it's not exactly the same as the ES, but no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. I have to work on my other screen. Let me take a look at the continuous contract. I'm not sure, Corey. I took a look. I'm not sure what you're looking at. I'm not on the same page. Not that you're wrong. I'm just not on the same page. Yeah, I saw that just now. It's 29th on the daily, correct. But I still don't see what you're doing. I'm not sure. Let's go back to Nova. Okay. Stand up double on Nova. Nice job, Shannon. Just continuous on here, this platform. Yeah, I'm still not totally used to this platform yet. Okay, yeah. All right. So I'm here on the weekly at, we're looking for, no, 2022. You want to be, I don't know where, here. This is March. This is the Monday. Oh, I might have, yeah, no wonder why. Thanks. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just not used to these. Yeah, I'm getting used to it, but I'm learning still with this. Okay, sorry about that, folks. I didn't look at the notes. I mean, I didn't look at the comments. Thanks. All right. And no wonder why I couldn't find it. Okay. So that's this high. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. Okay. Thought you were talking trend line for a second. Oh, okay. 46.31. Yeah. Well, okay. Right. The spider is up here, 462.07. There is a disparity. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. What's this one? This is the 457.83. So it's in between. Isn't that interesting? Okay, Corey, I got it now. Yes. Thank you. And I'm sorry it took me so long to figure that out. Now I got it. And it's in between. And it's funny how that works, right? That definitely deserves a funny how that works. So let me just explain it verbally for those that are confused at what was going on there. So Corey said that there was a pivot high that was on the ES futures. And that was where price pretty much was, I think, right now or just before, okay, the high. And was that today's high, Corey? Or it's close to it? So anyway, and then, yeah, spike of it. And then if you go back to the video last night and I talked about the pivots, 458, 462, this one came in from the ES chart, right? Almost in between, not exactly, but close in between them. And that was a pivot high on the futures. And from time to time in the videos, I'll show you a futures chart because there's something interesting there. And I didn't pick that up. So Corey was good at that. That was good eye. And I didn't pick that up, but that's something I would have shown and I picked it up because it's like an anomaly between the two charts, even though they're the same markets. So sometimes you pay attention to that stuff, and I wish I got it quicker, but I finally figured out what he was talking about, and he's correct. Nice job, Corey. Look at that, right back to the first number. Funny how that works too. I use both, Scott. I use TradingView and I use TradeStation, and I intended to completely switch over, but I realized I can't really trade everything through TradingView, and I'm not 100% comfortable. It's not for me, but so I'm going to still use TradeStation for my execution. And yeah, I'm still somewhat emotionally attached to those charts over there, but I'm getting used to this. I like these charts. I like what I can do with them. They're easy to maneuver once I got used to it. So I'm using both. And frankly, this one is easier to navigate for the purposes of this, for me, from my side. The VIX, yeah. I said I would look at that before, so let me look at that now. So give me a minute because I'm going to look at my other screen so I have my full array of stuff. Wow. Okay. Oh, spiders are close. I was doing VIX work here. That's not it. That's not the same one I was just working with. I'm not seeing it. I thought I had the VIX in here. Oh, here it is, right at the top. It's not the number. It's a different chart than I was just working with. Let me adjust it. This is the next number, okay? That's my next number in the VIX, 1221. QQQ, 381.95. Below that is, yeah, you're in no man's land. If they're gonna collapse this thing, it's tough, but that's the next number. All right, so the spiders are in showtime zone. 71 low, 71 low. Yeah, Matt, DIA is it's like the spider for the Dow. I know some of the thought process is, hey, is this gonna be a gap and crap? And it may, but the S&P, just put it in perspective. Right now, the ES is still up 21, 22 points on the day. So is this a pullback, shakeout operation, or is it a gap and crap? We don't know the answer yet. All we do know is if they start getting below 457.70, the next spot is about $1 lower. That's what we know. All right, they're in the zone. I'm going to put the other number up, 456.70, 75, 70, in this area. This is the former high. You look at an hourly chart, they say that's the reason. Okay, this from yesterday, and this was a number from before. So that would have been resistance had they not gapped over it, but it's right now, if they stay above it, that's the bull case. If they get below it, the case is for the next place. That's the way it works. And below it, stay below it. No, not just spike it by a few cents and snap back. Stay below. Wow, that's fantastic, Michael. Fantastic. The whole thing worked out. 8,700 bucks. Nice job. That was the overnight, and that was well done. Long, short. I'm glad it worked out. Will's been short in the Qs from the highs and the spiders. Well done. Remember, what is support or resistance? First, price stops going in the direction it's going. Then you have something in terms of the number. They cut through it. The number was wrong. They're just headed somewhere else. First order of business is to stop going in the direction they're going. The next order of business is they're either going to eat time off the clock, which gives you a hint they're going to go lower, or they're going to bounce back in the other direction. So there's two phases to support and resistance. Doesn't always happen in the same minute. Patience. Let's check something for kicks. I don't really even have one. I was looking for some kind of good low to run a fib retracement, see where we are, but nothing really. Maybe this low here, but that's, yeah, I suppose you could. You could do anything you want. It's in the middle. Nothing doing. Just curious. We just constantly do that stuff throughout the day. You just kind of running tests, see what was working, what it did. It gives you a hint what might happen in the future because you remember that when they did this, this happened, all that stuff. And so then those type of things form patterns and symmetry. And if they're doing it at a particular place and you have 2 or 3 or 4 reasons why that zone is important, then that's what trades are made out of. Thanks, Michael. I'm going over to read some of the, this is the time of day over the last 20, 30 minutes. Usually I get emails of traders from inside the numbers, not here in the live room, but that participated in whatever it is. And I'm seeing them. So it seems like it's a good day around the horn. Fantastic job, Mark. Mark got a base hit in the book off 457.70. I'm 5 to 7 points. I'm in the 458 and a quarter, 30 camp, but you take whatever you want to take and then you hold and then you hold. You never know which ones. Who's to say they can't run a test of the high of day at some point later on? Who's to say? We don't know. So if you can hold and they let you hold, meaning they don't come back down and stop you out and all that stuff, if they let you hold, there's no reason not to hold a piece. Same as yesterday, same as every day, same as stocks on the move. Sometimes they're just going to give you the rocket ride. You have to train yourself to hold a piece. You're not going to lose on that piece. You're not going to let it go bad on you. Worst case is you made the money you made. All right, be right back. Order 458.30 is a good exit scalp. You're kind of in there right now. If they get above, the next spot's going to be a spike above 459. They don't have to do it right away. They'll wreak some havoc as normal, but those are the numbers. Those are the two numbers that can cause a pullback. How much of a pullback? We don't know. I'm just saying those two numbers, independent of one another, are overhead resistance numbers. 458 and a quarter to 30, 459 a spike of. Okay, nice job, Chad. So who's in the spiders, ES options, whatever you're trading? Who's in the long side? Who's making money on this trade? Yeah, Brian, Matt, Kyler, Mike, Ron, Grant, Shannon, Ben, Eric. Yeah, oh yeah, keeps going. I can't even say the names fast enough. Andy, nice job. You got the short. Okay, that's good. Look at this. Just the whole litany of people. Big numbers, all kinds of stuff. This is what you signed up for. You never know what you're going to get. You stay calm, you stay patient. They give you the number, you take the trade. That's it. You don't chase it around. Don't make up and event trades because they're moving in a direction. You saw what happened today. We were very, very methodical. The spiders got to a place, we took action. Not before, didn't even talk about it before, other than the short. Great job, Shannon. That's a heck of a day. Well done. How's Nova doing? We got some trailers in Nova. Okay. Yeah, sometimes they just want to touch the other number. It just is what it is. That's why I create these zones. Very simply, for those of you that don't realize it or don't know about it yet, or how I do that, not how, but what I'm doing is there's your number, okay? There's your official scalp, 27. So what I'm doing is I'm taking into account the stock, the beta, the volume in the pre-market, where they are in the charts. I'm taking all this into account and I'm saying, what's the next logical number below where they are, right where they are could be the number. What's the next logical number? And then what's the one below that? And then on the third level, what's the one below that? And here's my point. Okay, I'm going to be wrong and it's going to slice through all three numbers and it happens from time to time. It's always going to happen from time to time. You can't ever avoid those ones. Okay, once in a while it's going to happen. But how often am I wrong 3 times in a row? And frankly, that's kind of part of the foundation of why I do it this way, because I know the answer, not that often. If I do the wrong analysis or the numbers just not working, they have a different idea, that's going to happen. That's where trades are wrong. They're not all going to work, but this is what I do. Trevor, 2K on the day, profit, well done. 1225 for Brian, well done. I'm missing stuff. I'm sorry. I mean, you just all put stuff in and I appreciate it very much. I just love to know and I love to see the box light up when we're in these trades. I just love it. I would just say, Chet, that was the number. If you were waiting for a big spike of it closer to the second number, I get it. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. They didn't do anything other than not get to your number. And we'll just leave it at that. Nice job, Matt. I know what that means. Oh, James slid into third base on Nova. Nice. Just picked up the second number and took the ride. 50 cents, 50, 55 cents, whatever it is, 60, whatever they're going to give you on a $17.50 purchase is pretty good. Was that like 3%? I'm sorry, it's more. Alan, nice day. Matt's up 50% on the options. How do I take profit on the ES futures if I have 3 contracts? Well, you take one at a time. You take one, like for example, right here at the first scalp, which was 5 to 7 points. So they've given you that, okay? The next one I would take at just before 459, if you can hold it. If they don't come back down and go at or below your entry, you don't let the rest go bad on you. You try and hold it for the next price. And then the next one, you're just holding it for as high as they'll let you go, because the next one, which would be high of day, isn't that far from 459. So you would want to see if they can make a new high and maybe get to 460 today. That's projecting out the what ifs. That's projecting out how you would hold, or how I shouldn't say you, how I would trade holding, buying 3 contracts at 457.70 or the ES equivalent, and how I would exit those trades and how I would do it. Okay, who asked that? Marcus, how's that? Well, your exit should have been $18, give or take, Rajit. And if you haven't yet, I would suggest you take a profit there, but you can hold for more. There's no reason they can't go higher. You just gotta withstand the back and forth. As long as they don't come back down to where you bought it on this remaining portion or below it, you can try and hold it. But here, Your exit was at 18, back to the first number. It's just a logical place that even if you didn't ask me, you just say, well, if I don't even know anything, I'm just going to say, well, the only thing I have is the first number. And since it's already there, I'll just take something there. That's logical to me. And that was the place for me. And the next place, really, it's hard to say. It's down so much. They can run all the way back up to 18, 60, 70. They can. If they start climbing this breakdown candle here in concept, okay, who knows where they can get to today? You don't know. They get above 1802 and start closing candles above there, start to climb. All right. The spiders keep going. That's nice. Well, that's a trading issue, Marcus. You have to understand how your platform works. And I don't know what you're using. You just got to put the quantity at 1. If you bought quantity at 3, you have to adjust the quantity at 1. It's probably still stuck on 3, if that's what you did. That's the only thing I could think of. Of course, they're going to pull back. Of course, they're not going to give you the whole shoot and match at once. That's just the way Mrs. Market works. Again, 458, 25, 30, even 35 is overhead resistance. So what was the high? 45. Okay. That's why we take the scalp portion off. So now it's a risk-free, motionless trade. Now you just wait. See if they'll give it to you. If they don't, they don't. TLT, 99, 35, 25, down to 99. Well, not even 99. Just 99, 20 to 30, give or take. That's TLT. I don't know if they get there. You got a gap here. Likely stop the tape for a while down at the gap, but that's not my number. Yeah, here comes the shakeout from the spike higher. Just don't let it go bad on you. They come lower, you buy it again, lower. If they snap back, you're either in or you're out. It doesn't matter. You got a profit. It's a base hit. Base hits put you in the Hall of Fame. You just move on. Yeah. AbbVie. Holy smokes, I didn't even see it. Jesus, look at that option. My goodness. This is one of the trailers that we have. Look at this. This is one of the trailing positions we have for the swing trading product. AbbVie. It's tremendous. Always important, Alice. Just can never lose sight of sticking to the process of treating it as a business and taking profit where you're supposed to. And the ones that give it to you, great. The customer that comes in that you think is going to spend 50 bucks in your store and ends up spending $2 grand, that's a bluebird. You never know which ones. Let's talk about mindset for a second and exactly what's going on now. Eric asks a great question, so we're going to expand upon it and we're going to answer it a couple different ways. For another bite at the apple, would you buy again anywhere in the zone between 457.70 and 456.70, or wait until it gets down towards the lower part of that range? Let me read the rest. I have to scroll here. Oh, assuming, yeah, okay. So if it did go lower. Now, here's what I'll take into account, all right? Many of you got a variety of stocks on the move, 1, 2, 3, whatever you got, okay? So you got money in your pocket. Most of you got the spider trade. You have money in your pocket. If you followed the rules, you should have put money in your pocket. Now, we're getting at 11 o'clock, we're close to lunchtime. Okay, I'm not gonna play games. Now, they're gonna have to come lower. So the answer to the question is, the second question you really asked is, for me, I'm not gonna toy around with the spike to low and rip it back up trade because I don't have to have it. You have to have that mindset. If I got 2, 3, 4 trades in my pocket, I'm not interested in the spike to low. It's too risky. I'm interested in 457 down to 456.70. You'll get a snapback there. You'll get a scalp out of it. You may get more. And if they get below, the other end of your zone becomes the gap. And that's it. So 456.70 down to 455.50 would be the next zone. And it's likely that they'll give you another trade before they ever got to the gap. So that's the answer to the question, but it has to do with, in part, with what already happened today. Make sense? That's my answer. Right? Everybody has a different thing. Just because my answer is my answer doesn't mean you have to have the exact same answer. This is part science, part art form, a lot of art form in this business. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat in this business. There's also a ton more ways to lose money in this business. Way more ways than there are to skin a cat to lose money. Yeah, good, Brent. Yeah, I'm always going to repeat the same stuff There's tons of questions out there. So there's a lot of information. But what you're not going to hear me do is do a flip-flop. And I'm not going to be a politician and do a flip-flop. One day I'm saying one thing works and the next day I'm saying it doesn't, this works. I'm not going to ever do that. I'm always going to give you the answers based on the same way I look at the thing all the time. But some of the reasons why we will or won't take a trade have to do with what already happened. Where are we on the day? What time of day is it? All these are what I like to call these variable risk factors. 456.70 is less of a variable risk at this point than any of those other things. That's way better than the 38 special. There, look. Now they may rip it back up. You didn't miss anything if they did, if you're waiting for lower. If you're waiting for lower, the mindset is because that's my number. If they shoot right back up and they start closing candles above 457.70, or as we know, it can be overhead resistance once they're below. But if they get back above and recapture it, then this was a spike low and rip it back up in the other direction. If they run a test and they start falling again, the door will be open, and it's always going to be open as long as they're below 457.70 for 456.70, give or take. You know, could they stop at this high over here? Absolutely. Below here opens the door to the gap. Well done, Will. You got my whole deal. And just watch it. 457.70 high so far. Back above, bull case. Stay below, temporary bearish case, bearer case. It's not a bear, it's just the bear case intraday. What the market's doing now, and what it already did for the last half an hour or so, is confirm that 457.70 is a spot. Stopping there on the way down, stopping there on the way back up on a temporary basis, at least so far, or at least coming back to back test it, it's confirming that that's a spot. So we're going to heed that information. The market is telling us 457.70 is important. All right, I need to walk around. All right, you got the whole thing. I'll be right back. Couple, 3 minutes, whatever. 457.70 is now resistance. See how that works? Now our eye is down, not to short it, because you can't short it in the hole. Nobody wants to short this, and I should say nobody wants to. You should not want to short this after it already came down. Now, you don't short the lows. Not that it won't come down, but that's not the high probability trade. Okay, not after it already came down. You short resistance, you buy support. They can break the low and come all the way down here really fast, but that doesn't mean you should short it for that to happen. Those are two different things. Brent, that's funny. I didn't even realize he said that, but I'm sure I did. Yeah, listen, it's part of my thing, right? I have to have some levity here. I have to, what you think sometimes is entertaining for you is just as entertaining for me to come up with the stuff. Plenty of times, it happens all the time. I'm making the video in the later after the close, and I'll say something, even if it's off the cuff, even if I plan to say it or I wrote something down, or most of the time it only happens like this when I say something that's just off the top of my head on the spot. I have to pause the video because I'm laughing. I mean, so it's just as entertaining for me sometimes, some of the stuff. I'm not saying I'm a comedian or anything. I'm just saying I like to make it entertaining. And Mark says the old self would have shorted it below 457.70. And sometimes you'll win those trades and they stick in your mind and you try and forget the losers and you forget that it doesn't work most of the time. That's the phenomenon. We always want to discard out of our mind the bad stuff. So we forget that it doesn't work more than it does. We do remember the time it worked and we want it to happen again. That's the emotional / psychology behind some of that stuff. No, Leon, I'm sorry, I don't. I would just use a different browser. Just make it simple on yourself. You're asking a question that is actually should be directed at GoToWebinar. So if you want to ask them, there's nothing I could do about that. What doesn't work? What are you saying doesn't work? What is it? Define that for me, please. I just use a different browser, I would say. I'm not sure. But you got in today because it's the only way you can get the link. So I'm confused. Oh, on a phone. I can't help you with that. I'm sorry. This is not a phone business. You got to have a computer. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you with the phone. Hey, Brent, what was the 1 to 3 thing? I don't remember that. I'll remember it if you give me a little more information on it. I forget that. I'm curious. Yeah, Brent's right. So he's saying it's some of this stuff is funny because we've all been there. So think about comedians and think about comedians that do a bit based on real life stuff that we've all experienced. Like Seinfeld was a great example. He just takes like real life stuff and he just makes a joke out of it because it's all stuff we've experienced. Well, this is a fractal of that for traders because a lot of the stuff I say, and Brent's right, a lot of the stuff I say has to do with the fact that I've been there, you've been there. If you haven't been there yet, you will be there. And the folks that have been there find it entertaining, the way I put some of the stuff. So that's kind of, yeah, I agree with that. Oh, it's the computer that has, so use a Chrome browser, see if it works. When I hear those things like the browser is not working or whatever, I know it's something on your end because it's working for everybody else. So I have to just use that as a logic. Maybe you have something blocked, maybe change the browser. It's not my end. Some people, who knows what people use, Joseph? It doesn't really matter. It matters what you use. You don't know what other people are using, nor do you care. I'm not saying that to be flip about it. That's kind of just the way I think about it. Yeah, I wouldn't really ever use a 5-minute scenario on that, Mark. I read what you wrote. That would be different. A couple more, a few more. And that was I just showed you the reason why, Mark. I would always defer to another time frame and see what I see. And I didn't see any reason on this time frame that would confirm the other one. Doesn't mean it won't work. It just means I didn't see it. The reason. I need a reason. I need something confirming. So Mark was looking at time. Time is more important than price. And we were trying to determine whether a 5-minute chart might be on time. And that's what we're talking about. And maybe it is. But what we were saying was if it came down here on time, that's a different story. But it didn't. eBay? Yeah, this is that time of day when, do you want to take another trade right now into lunchtime? If you had a few successful ones, that's up to you. It doesn't change the number. It just changes the concept of what I'm looking for. The participation is waning. The volume is, look at the volume drying up. Okay. What was the low anyway? 20 on the button. Well, that's my thought process. That's my number. Yeah, Matt, for the most part, kind of, sort of. Like if they came back down, it's you would have to say first time, best time, right? Or up, whatever. I don't know what you're looking at. You're looking at eBay? I don't know. I don't know what stock or market you're talking about there. 7 cents short, Spider. 7 cents short of yesterday's high. Oh, over here. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was that other place I said they could stop there. And so they stop a few pennies above it, but that's the same thing. Yes, you're right. Yes. Remember before I said they could stop here, but that's my number, and they stopped even in front of here. So be it. But yes. So what do we have? We have a spider trade. We had a few traders short the spiders and Qs. We had a bunch of stocks on the move trade. All of them hit their numbers. Traders got what they got, and we're at 1120. The volume is drying up, participation is drying up, and nothing changes to the numbers. But 456.70 isn't exactly the same now even than it was 15 minutes ago, only because they bounced, not that they bounced a ton, but again, you have to take into account what type of, or what time of day we're in, which is now the morning rush is over. So trades become harder, less participation. Exactly, Brent. It's closing time. Close. This is what you have to train your mind to understand and accept, that it's a store. It's open all day, like a store's open all day. You go to Target or Walmart or wherever, it's open from X to X. But when you go there, you're not staying there all day. You get what you need and you get out. Same thing here. The market entices you to stick around because you think you can make money by just doing stuff. And the reality is it's much harder when there's less participation and it's a morning business. And that's just a fact. That's when I know I've had the most success in my career, is right smack in the first 2 hours of the day. And I've asked traders to do this before. Go back and do an analysis on your trades. Not only my trades, just do an analysis on your trades and do a time of day analysis. And you tell me what happens in the afternoon. Our mind is trained to think, hey, we might miss something, but what we don't want to realize is each and every time we play ball in the afternoon, the more often than not, we get ourselves in trouble. More often than not. How do I know that? Because I know that firsthand. It's like the boredom trade. You're looking at the market, you want to be in something, you want a little action. You want action? Go to the casino. Go play blackjack. Of course. Listen, not of course you, just of course, I know what happens. And then you realize, and then you stay away from it, but you're going to be drawn back to it. And the fight, Brent, is to fight the urge and really walk away. Doesn't matter what they do. You tried to trade the FOMC announcement, the whipsaw. Yeah. And what you realize now, and I know this for a fact, is at the time, in the heat of the moment, you were basically just guessing, hoping you're right, hoping you get a big run. Yeah, I know. You don't think I've done that? That's how I know immediately. I didn't need 3 choices to find out what you were doing. I knew immediately because there's only one thing to do in the afternoon is guess and hope you're right. And not any afternoon, I'm just saying at the FOMC whipsaw event. Anybody that tried to trade that, some might have made money and some might have lost, and both were doing the exact same thing, guessing, hoping you were right, hoping you got a big 15, 20, 30 point run, whatever. I get it. It's enticing. That's why I'm trying to hold you away from that stuff. What's the high here? 69 so far. Yeah, so Trevor was on the other side. He did the same thing, admitted it was a guess, but he got paid on it. Again, it was you picked heads and it landed on heads. Love, let me look at something. Question is Love a swing trade? Well, here's a weekly chart and here's a 20 period moving average. All right, so I don't know right now whether they're going to come up short and bounce, but when they're this close on a weekly chart like this, it's a tough time buying it in front of that. That's just item number 1 from a visual perspective. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. Don't even know if there's a number in front of that right now. I'm just saying that's my first impression. Downtrend, lower highs. Okay. So will they find support for a bounce? Absolutely. Where is that going to be? Well, now you look at the daily chart and you say, well, look, 30 bucks is a big fat round number. There's a lot of reasons 30 bucks important. 30 bucks is a good spot. I don't know if they'll get there, but you have a gap in front. You have 2 gaps. There's a lot of stuff in here. For me, it would have to be close to 30 bucks. So then I go back to the weekly chart and I say, that's a spike of the 20-week moving average. They spiked the low and ripped it back up in the other direction. Okay. So where they stop, hard to say, but 31 is a breakup candle low. So if I was going to buy it anywhere in front of 30, it would have to be 31, give or take. That's my take in Love. Real-time analysis. 457.70 is overhead resistance until it's not. Back to that. Nice job, Will. Well, which one, Armand? In fact, I'll be right back in 30 seconds, folks. 457.70. I'm here. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Just got to update the notes. Okay. Recapture. Again, same routine, same spots. 458.35, give or take. 459 and change. Same routine. Above 457.70, that's the ticket. Let's see what else we have. We got some stuff in here. Then we're gonna wrap it. Now, service now, Armand. Okay, I can get a number on this one. Just give me a second. All right, Armand, this is your bounce place, but let's understand the difference. And this is for everybody. This is a good learning experience. Let's understand the difference between this is the next set of numbers that are support and what's going on here. So this is a tremendous reversal candle, okay? Which means that it's likely not over. These are generally not one and done. Now, whether it goes sideways for a while and makes another push lower, and if they do that, this becomes off the table. Right now, these are the numbers, but understand that this thing is going lower one way or the other, okay? But there will be bounces along the way. But that's a reversal. It's big time reversal. That's taking into an account the variable risk of what the actual stock is doing in the bigger picture today. It's not down 2 or 3% or whatever it is. It was a gap and crap, and it's a big time reversal. It is down 2%. That's funny I said that. On the day, it was up and that's it, but that's the reversal. That's the gap and crap part. Walmart short. You short an uptrend? You want to short that? The high is 160.77. What was the high? 158.01. That's your only opportunity right there, is betting they're not going to close above it. That's my choice. That's my take on it. LCRX, Lam Research. LCRX, Lam Research. No, LRCX, dyslexic. LRCX. Okay, nice rip. It's almost the same story, but there's probably a number or two in between the high and now. So give me a minute to work on that. Lam Research, hold on. Still working on it. If you were interested in shorting up there, those are two numbers before the high. It's wrong above the high on closes above the high. That's it. I'm not saying to short it. I'm not saying not to short it. Those are my numbers. You ask and I shall receive. And you could even see symmetry here all of a sudden developing. I don't know. Those are the numbers. Not my favorite short setup at highs. It's just a lot of times it works, a lot of times it doesn't work. I like to short stuff into resistance, not necessarily the former high, the all-time high. That's just me. First you got to wait for the turn on me, and then you can start to figure it out. You got to wait for one thing to get the other. In my mind, a couple of months back and forth, but you have to wait for the turn really. Joseph, I'm reading your question. You avoid shorting Tesla, any others like biotech or meme stocks or AI, meaning avoid shorting, or stocks I do short. I mean, I'll short anything if it makes sense. There's no classification or sector or anything like that in particular. No, it's chart by chart basis. And there's criteria, right? I'm not going to short something that trades 50,000 shares a day that's running on a short squeeze. I'm not going to do that, right? It's like a death sentence. So there's criteria, there's variable risk in all trades, and there's variable risk in everything, but there's less variable risk in certain trades than others. But no one sector in particular, no. You're welcome. Disney, my least favorite company, nothing doing. You see this fighting these lows, tried to bounce, and it gave it up. So chances are it's going to break these lows, and then you're going lower. It's nothing anytime soon. The only way this gets going is above 88, even to start the process. Bullish pattern intraday, as long as they stay above the opening range low. Opening range low is 86.15. So there's your take in Disney. All right, guess what? It's a wrap. All right, you take the morning session, you just go about your business. You got what you got, and now you're in the middle of a floater operation, and we're going to take the liberty to cut it here today. No reason to hold it over for another half an hour or so. It's no reason at all. And we come back tomorrow in uniform, ready to go. All right, nice day. Call it a success, and we'll move on. You're all welcome, and I thank you for being here, and I thank you for trusting in me. It's important, and I really, I'm glad that it's working out. All right, obviously. Job, Will. Big numbers, 22K. Okay, folks, I'm wrapping it. Don't do stupid stuff. I know some of you will. Refrain. Be back tomorrow in uniform, ready to go. Appreciate everybody, you know that.